Well, good morning. It is Thursday, May 30th, day 23 on the trail for me. Had some rain come through last night. It started at, I think it was about 9 o'clock and lasted for a while. It was never very heavy, just steady rain. And it's very wet right now. So about a little over 50 degrees, I suppose, which is kind of cool, but once you start walking, yeah, if I had my rain gear on, I'd be sweating under it, so I decided to go with that. Plan today is about 16 and a half miles to a shelter. Still in New Jersey. And should be some good views along the way if the sun comes out. And I'm thinking it will. It's still misty right now, but the sun's going to come out. It's going to be a nice, cool, clear day, I think. So we should get some good views. Looked like only one significant descent and ascent later on in the second half of the day. And yeah, that'll be about it. Alright, so as always, if I see anything interesting, I will grab a picture or some video. And here's what the trail looks like right now. Just did a little bit of a climb, and I got a nice view to the by northwest. Along the ridge, got a pretty good view here. It's a bit windy without all the trees to block it. Must have been a front that came through last night with all that rain and brought the wind with it. This is the Brink Road shelter. Not staying here tonight, just stopped by for some water, a little rest. And nice little space, a couple of windows, room for 4 people maybe, 5, 6 maybe. All right, well, I got reading my map correctly. I'm looking down on Culver Lake in New Jersey. All right, well, I made it the 16 and a half miles to the shelter area. Just hiking up towards it now. So, yeah, you see some of the highlights. I understand that between those highlights is miles of forest. Lots of trees and bushes, and just the trail. There's a lot that obviously you don't see. And not because it's not interesting, I find it interesting. I enjoy the beauty of the forest and all that, but it would take forever. And you'd get bored with it, probably. I think I've seen that there are some people who've, basically strapped a GoPro on and somehow have had the battery capacity and the memory capacity, and there is video of the entire Appalachian Trail out there somewhere. So if you really want to see some of that, I'm sure you can find it. But I'm just trying to show the highlights, some of the stuff I find interesting that I think you guys out there would also find interesting. I mean, I saw probably 50 salamanders today. But I showed a picture of a salamander a few days ago or a week ago or something, so I think that's sufficient for salamanders. Once you've seen one, they all basically look the same. It's like a little orange lizard. All right. Coming up on the Gren Anderson shelter. It looks like I might be the first person here. That means I can continue talking. All right, here we go. All right, looks like we've got a bear box here. That's nice. Got a table. It's under the overhang. That's always nice. All right. And it looks like there's some room on the floor. There's a bunk space maybe, or is that just a table? That looks like it's maybe just a table, or maybe some seating. So this was built in 1958. Oh, there's some extra clothes up here in case anybody needs them. Looks like an interesting pair of underwear. And we got signs to tell us which way to go for water and to the privy. And I think I can see the privy right there. Yep, it's that little building right there. All right, I'm going to find a place to set up my tent because it's supposed to be a really nice day. And I think I'd like a little bit more privacy than the shelter can afford. All right, I will see you later. Well, it is getting a little late. I mean, the sun's still out, but it's getting down below the trees and things are cooling off. It's supposed to be down in the 40s today after the rain in the front came through last night. So it's gonna be chilly again, which is nice. I tend to sleep better with the quilt and everything when it's cooler out. So the guy I've been hiking with, Bourbon, he's been having issues. His backpack, there's something wrong with the waist, and that's causing him to put more pressure on one of his shoulders, and he's been having lots of shoulder issues. And he fell behind me today by quite a bit, and I was here at the shelter for almost 2 hours, and he hadn't shown up. So finally he shows up. Turns out that we went near this one town, and he got a hitch into town to visit a chiropractor, and he says it helped and he's doing better, but he came back. I think the guy who gave him the hitch to the chiropractor gave him a beer. So he came back up and hiked the rest of the way into the shelter with the beer, and he was kind enough to share it with me. And as I've said before, that was my favorite beer, because my favorite beer is a free beer. But yeah, very, very generous of Bourbon. Yeah, so we did about 16 and a half miles today. Tomorrow, I'm not sure yet. It's one of those spots where it's either going to be like 13 miles or like 20 miles. And I think it's probably going to be 13 miles. Just the way it works out sometimes. So depending on where you are, sometimes you are allowed to camp just sort of off the trail in what they call dispersed camping. where we are now, you are only allowed to camp at shelters or designated campsites. So there's like a 7-mile stretch where you can't camp. And so we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do for tomorrow. My guess is we're probably gonna do 13 miles tomorrow and then get into the next town for a resupply, but we'll figure that out. Yeah. And so that's about it for today. Big thanks to an anonymous donor. Well, I know who the donor is, and I've already thanked them individually. But somebody I've known for about, I guess about 20 years now. I really appreciate your support of the adventure, and I hope to, see you again when I get back and maybe share a story that didn't make the videos. Well, as always, if you've stuck through to the end, I appreciate it, and I will see you again tomorrow on the trail.